Kengan Ashura is a Japanese manga series written by Yabako Sandrovich, which was serialized from 2012 to 2018. The anime adaptation currently appears on Netflix, which is the version we will be focusing on. The story focuses on an event called the Kengan Annihilation Tournament. The stakes are slightly different this time, as each fighter is actually representing a corporation. Somehow each of these corporations pick a fighter to represent them, and this tournament somehow determines the economy of Japan. Look, it's not super important why they're fighting, although this does introduce salaryman Yamashita Kazu as sort of an everyman for the story, which gives the story a unique perspective. But honestly, we're just looking for an excuse to watch fighters of all styles gathered from around the world to fight. Yamashita manages the main protagonist of the story, Tokito Oma, who fights in something called the Nico style. He's clearly very strong, although not invincible, and has some unique flaws, which makes his character interesting. The first part of the series goes through some introductions of characters, plot points, etc., and has just this combination of familiarity without being too cliche, to give some interesting twists on the genre. So when the tournament gets going, about halfway through the first season, it settles into 1 or 2 bouts per episode, and the series gets really fun to watch various competitors going at it. Aside from the creativity in the fighters' designs and stories, the fighting scenes are really well done in Kengan Ashura. The battles are well choreographed and paced, and combine entertainment value with somewhat of grounding and realism. Yes, every time you watch an anime, you have to suspend your disbelief just a bit, especially when watching fight scenes, but there's nothing too egregious here, and the more important thing is, Kengan Ashura is fun. There is at least an attempt to give a plausible explanation as to everything that is going on, and it's made just quickly enough and given just enough of grounding in reality to keep the story moving along and you entertained, even if you're heavily involved in the combat arts. Of course, there is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter in the tournament, in the form of Cosmo Ime, who is both the youngest competitor in the tournament and described as a fighting prodigy. When I first watched this, I wondered if Cosmo was a fictionalized version of Nicky Ryan, the younger brother of Gordon Ryan and a talented grappler himself, but since the Kengan manga came out well before the rise of the Ryan brothers, this has to be a coincidence. Still, it's fun to watch this and picture what Nicky Ryan would do in the Kengan Annihilation Tournament. Cosmo showcases his grappling throughout the tournament, including his use of the triangle choke, which ranks among the best portrayals in the media, and a rear naked choke. Moreover, Cosmo displays his use of the guard against larger, stronger opponents that are actually striking him, which is a very old school jiu-jitsu indeed. So how do we rate Kengan Ashura from the jiu-jitsu's perspective and as fans? For technical accuracy, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 9, everything else 5. This is an anime after all, and you're going to get some elements of fantasy. The way it is able to work Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in this context actually is that much more remarkable, and it's clear the producers did some research and have some knowledge on the art. Some of the action and styles depicted are a bit more fanciful, but as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, you couldn't be much happier with the portrayal of our art. For martial arts spirit, 9. Martial arts is the core of this series. Competitors are martial artists, but they are also fighters, and while some strive to uphold some sort of Bushido, others not so much, which is fairly spot on in depiction. Again, the key here is the ability to balance fantasy, entertainment value with some sort of grounding in reality. For benefit to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 8. The depiction of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is extremely positive, maybe one of the best depictions in entertainment media. Even though it's not the style of the main protagonist, the effectiveness of Jiu-Jitsu is well showcased through the use of Cosmo Ime and the fact they decided to make him the smallest competitor in the series. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is actually the most accessible style presented in Kengan Ashura. Overall enjoyment of the film, 7. If you like anime, we think you'll like Kengan Ashura a lot. Interesting take on the martial arts tournament, combined with entertaining action sequences and just the right mix of fantasy and reality. Each episode is under 30 minutes long and well paced, and it's fairly easy to binge watch through both seasons available on Netflix in a single weekend. Oh yeah, and the soundtrack is so cool, I actually don't skip in between the episodes either. Be forewarned, while the anime has yet to be resolved, the manga it is based on is resolved, so it's pretty easy to find spoilers on the web. So that's the Jiu-Jitsu take on Kengan Ashura. Agree with our assessment? Be sure to comment, like, and share our video, and for more great content like this, subscribe to our channel.